Welcome to today's episode of the Deep Dive Credit Podcast, presented by Elite Credit Solutions. We are your trusted partner in affordable credit repair, proudly based in Tampa, Florida, and dedicated to serving clients across the entire United States. Join us as we explore the intricacies of credit management, share expert insights, and empower you with the knowledge you need to achieve your financial goals. Get ready for an enlightening journey into the world of credit. Let's dive in.
Everyone to the deep dive. It's been a while since we last talked about student loans, but they're back in the news. Repayments have restarted, and for a lot of us, that's a pretty big financial shift to wrap our heads around.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a big deal.
So today, we're going to try and make sense of it all. And we've got some great insights from Equifax to help us out. What we really want to do is give you the tools to navigate this whole thing without feeling overwhelmed.
Right. Break it down. Make it manageable.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to look at what's changed recently, what you need to do to get back on track with payments, and how this whole thing might affect your credit.
The whole picture.
Exactly. So maybe let's rewind a bit. Remind everybody about that long pause we had on federal student loan payments and interest.
Okay, so back in March 2020, the CARES Act kicked in, right? That's where it all started. Payments and interest basically went on hold. A huge relief for so many people.
It was a big deal. I mean, for a lot of folks, that was a substantial chunk of change freed up each month.
For sure. But then, to kind of ease the transition back to repayment, the Biden administration set up this thing called the on-ramp period. Started October 1st, 2023, ran for a full year, ended just recently on September 30th, 2024.
Yeah, that on-ramp. I remember when that was announced. So during that year, if someone, let's say, missed a payment or was a little late, what happened? Was it like a free pass?
Pretty much, yeah. The big thing with the on-ramp was that any late or missed payments weren't reported to the credit bureaus.
So we're talking Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Those are the big ones, right?
Those are the ones, yeah. Those are the ones that lenders use to see how risky you are as a borrower. But during the on-ramp, none of that mattered. No dings on your credit, no loans going into default. It was a real grace period.
It was definitely a lifeline for many. Okay, so that on-ramp is over now. We're into late 2024, heading into 2025. What's the situation now? What did that mean for borrowers?
Well, as of October 1st, 2024, things went back to normal, basically. Back to pre-pandemic rules. Any missed or late payments, they're back on your credit report.
So if someone's been kind of coasting, maybe relying on that on-ramp flexibility, they need to get back on track right away.
Absolutely. No more free passes. It's time to buckle down and make those payments on time.
Now, I remember there was another program, something called the Fresh Start program. Was that related to the on-ramp, or was that something different?
That was a separate thing, yeah. Fresh Start was specifically for people who had defaulted on their federal student loans before the payment pause even started, like way back.
Okay, so folks who were already in trouble before the pandemic hit.
Exactly. And the really cool thing about Fresh Start was that it gave those borrowers a chance to get back in good standing. Like, their defaulted loans could actually be marked as current again.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal to wipe the slate clean like that.
It was huge. And another thing with Fresh Start, you could also choose a new repayment plan, like one of those income-driven repayment plans.
IDR plans, right?
Yeah, IDR plans. Those are designed to make your monthly payments more manageable because they're based on how much you earn and how big your family is.
So Fresh Start was really a chance to hit the reset button for some people.
Absolutely. A second chance, for sure.
Okay, so that program, Fresh Start, is that still running or is that ended too?
That one actually ended in October 2024.
So the window's closed on that one?
It is.
Okay. Well, for everyone else who's now facing these restarted payments, what are some practical things they can do right now to get organized?
All right, well, first things first, you gotta know where you stand, right? So check your loan balance, go to your loan servicer's website, that's the easiest way, see exactly how much you owe, no surprises.
Get those numbers straight. I like it. What's next?
Next, think about your repayment plan. Does it still work for you? Things might have changed since before the pause. Income, family size, all that. The good news is there's this awesome tool on the Federal Student Aid website called the Loan Simulator.
The Loan Simulator. I think I've heard of that.
It's amazing. You can plug in all your info and see how different repayment options would shake out, like what your monthly payments would be under different plans. Super helpful.
So it's not just about picking up where you left off, it's about reassessing.
Exactly. And don't forget your loan servicer. They're there to help you. Any questions, any problems, just reach out.
Good point. They're not the enemy. They're actually there to assist.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got a plan, you're talking to your servicer. What about the actual act of paying. Any tips there?
Set up online payments through your loan servicer's website. Makes things so much easier. And hey, if you can, sign up for autopay. A lot of times they'll even give you a little interest rate discount for doing that. Plus, you'll never miss a payment.
Can't argue with that.
Mm.
Any other avenues people should be looking into?
Oh, for sure. Loan forgiveness programs, definitely check those out. There are federal programs that could reduce or even wipe out your debt depending on your job or other circumstances. Worth doing a little research.
Yeah, always worth exploring those options. Okay, so big picture. Check your balance, play around with that loan simulator, talk to your servicer, set up those online payments, and maybe even auto pay, and then see if any loan forgiveness programs apply to you. Seems like a pretty good to-do list. Now, let's talk about the thing that I think is stressing a lot of people out. These payments, restarting, how's that going to impact credit scores?
It's a valid concern. And honestly, how much it affects your score is really going to depend on your individual credit history. But we can talk about how those credit scoring models work in general.
Okay, yeah. Like, what are those models even looking at? What are they focusing on when they're calculating your score?
Well, they're looking at stuff like how late were those payments, how much total debt you have, and then how often and how recently you missed payments. The more frequent and recent the late payments, the worse it is. Makes sense, right?
It does, yeah. Like, missing one payment probably isn't as bad as consistently being late.
Exactly. And now that the on-ramp is over, student loans are back under the same rules.
Meaning, they're back in the game as far as credit reporting goes.
Exactly. Those missed or late payments going on your credit report. And yeah, they could potentially ding your score.
So paying on time is more crucial than ever. All right, so how can someone actually see what's on their credit report? Like, how do you even know what's being reported?
Equifax has this great platform, My Equifax. You can get your Equifax credit report for free right there online. And, you can also get free credit reports from all three of the big bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, once a year. You just have to go to annualcreditreport.com.
Annualcreditreport.com. Got it. Are there other ways to get your credit reports? Like, what if you're not super tech savvy?
Yeah, you can call them up. The number is 877-322-8228. Or if you prefer snail mail, you can send a request to Annual Credit Report Request Service, P.O. Box 105281, Atlanta, GA 30348 5281. But keep in mind, with mail, it'll take like 2 weeks to get your report.
Good to know. Okay, so you're looking at your report and something doesn't look right, like there's a mistake. What do?
You can and should dispute it. Contact the credit bureau that issued the report. Tell them what's wrong. They have to investigate and fix any mistakes.
So don't be afraid to speak up. Always good to double check. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about budgeting. I mean, for a lot of people, these student loan payments haven't been a part of their budget for years. Figuring that out again has got to be a challenge.
It is. But budgeting is so important, especially now that these payments are back in the picture. And the first step, according to Equifax, is to understand where your money is going right now.
Okay, so for someone starting from scratch, how do you even begin to make a budget?
Well, first, list out all your essential expenses, the stuff you absolutely have to pay every month. Rent or mortgage, groceries, transportation, utilities, and now your student loan payment. Then make a separate list for your discretionary spending. That's things like eating out, entertainment, subscriptions, shopping, basically the fun stuff.
Fun but not essential.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. And finally, jot down any savings goals you have. Could be anything. Emergency fund, vacation, down payment on a house, whatever.
So you've got these three lists: essentials, fun stuff, and savings. How do you actually turn that into a budget? Like, how do you allocate your money?
You gotta look at your total monthly income and figure out how much goes to each category. And the key here is to prioritize those essential expenses, including your student loan payments. Those need to be covered no matter what.
Makes sense. Are there any, general rules of thumb for budgeting that might be helpful?
There is this thing called the 50-30-20 rule. It's pretty popular. Basically, 50% of your after-tax income goes to your needs, those essential expenses. 30% goes to your wants, the discretionary spending, and then 20% goes to savings and any extra debt payments you want to make.
50-30-20. Easy to remember.
Exactly. Now remember, those are just guidelines. You can adjust the percentages to fit your own situation.
Of course, everyone's different. What if someone makes their budget and realizes they just don't have enough money to cover everything, including those student loan payments?
Well, then it's time to look at that discretionary spending. Can you cut back on anything? Maybe eat out less, cancel a subscription or two, hold off on that new pair of shoes.
Trim the fat, so to speak.
Exactly. Make some sacrifices for a little while to free up some cash.
What if, even after cutting back, it's still super tight?
If you're struggling, talk to your loan servicer. Don't just ignore it. They can help you look at other options. Maybe you qualify for a different repayment plan, like an income-driven one that lowers your monthly payments. Or, depending on your situation, they might be able to set you up with deferment or forbearance, which gives you a temporary break from payments.
So communication is key here. Reach out, don't suffer in silence.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
All right, well, we've covered a lot today. So just to sum things up, federal student loan repayment is back. The on-ramp is over, late payments are going to affect your credit, and being proactive is key. You got to know your loan details, explore those repayment options, and build a solid budget.
That's it in a nutshell. And remember, those resources we talked about, your loan servicer, those free credit reports, use them. They're there to help.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a little something to think about. This whole pause on student loan payments, and now the return to repayment. Has it made you think about your finances differently? Like your overall goals, your habits with money? Maybe it's a chance to take a step back and reevaluate things. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Great talking with you.
Same here.
What's up, another insightful episode of the Deep Dive Credit Podcast, brought to you by Elite Credit Solutions, your go-to resource for affordable credit repair across the United States. We appreciate you joining us today, and we hope you found the information valuable and empowering. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, don't hesitate to reach out to us at 813-317-6776. Additionally, don't forget to like today's podcast, share with your friends on social media, follow us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay in tune with future updates. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep striving for excellence in your credit journey.